Warning, there are no spoilers for Spider-Man No Way Home in this video. Yes, I have seen it already, but I know not everybody has. And if you have, please don't spoil it in the comments, that's no good. So, Spider-Man No Way Home was pretty good, right? I'm just kidding. 3 years ago to the day, I uploaded my 5th LEGO minifigure series, based on the Sam Raimi Spider-Man trilogy. With pretty much the most anticipated Spider-Man movie ever coming out around the 3-year anniversary, I thought there was no better time to remaster it. Especially because it was in dire need of remastering. And 2.3 million people have seen the bad one, which is incredible, but embarrassing. I still get comments to this day wondering why I gave Dr. Connors 2 arms. The answer is, I was an absolute noob who had only seen the first one and never seen Dr. Connor from the waist down. Yeah, plot twist, I'd only seen the first one. But over the last month, I wanted to prepare for No Way Home, and I watched the whole trilogy, as well as both Amazing Spider-Man movies. Oh yeah, sorry, did I mention this is a double feature series with the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies? That was kind of a last minute decision, but it felt only right with the crazy franchise crossover that is No Way Home. So with 8 Raimi figures and 8 Webb figures, a very fitting surname might I add, let's see who makes the cut. Who is this? You sure you want to know? I mean, it's pretty obvious who comes first in the Spider-Man series. It's everyone's favourite pizza lover, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. A couple of the Raimi characters have existing minifigures, including this suit, but since they're as old as the movies themselves, they definitely require an update. A lot of people who draw him emphasise the grey webbing, but it looked weird to me having it be any lighter than this. He does look less like the Raimi suit, and more just like a generic Spider-Man because of this though. His accessory is a simple web shot, but he also has an alternate head and hair for Peter Parker. Unlike my original series, this is the only Peter figure here. You'll get Billy Maguire when you fix this damn door. I knew that everyone hated Mary Jane, but watching all 3 movies made me realise just how many unlikable things she does. Did you know that she cheats on somebody at least once in every single movie? Did she even make Peter a whole plate of cookies like Ursula Dickovich did? No. But either way, she's basically the main driving force of the whole trilogy, so is second in this series. She has her outfit from her very first scene, Violet from The Incredibles' hair, to have a black headband, and the spider that kicked off the whole thing. Me and you can rule this city, Spider-Man, or we can just fight to the death. The endlessly quotable OG Green Goblin is here, silly Power Rangers suit and all. His outfit is just a bunch of intricate green panels stacked on top of each other, so it took a pretty long time to draw. Not to mention I drew his entire freaking glider, which I made out of a bunch of pieces that would surely not fit in a minifigure bag, but this is all imaginary anyway, so who cares. And to only increase the number of pieces that come with this single figure, he also has a pumpkin bomb and a hairpiece that you can swap the mask out for to have Norman Osborn. I apologise for making him so creepy, but I'm sure Willem Dafoe is aware of what he looks like. From the, some would say, superior Spider-Man 2, we have Doc Ock. Guy named Otto Octavius winds up with 8 limbs, what are the odds? He has his trench coat and a shirt on, which was rare to see in the movie, and the middle part hair rather than the dog trainer hair I used the first time around. I've seen people create his robot arms in much crazier ways than I have here, but to keep it simple I just use an existing method LEGO used for a while. Skipping over the casual Harry Osborn I included in the original series, we have the new Goblin, whoa. He was pretty flip-floppy in the movie, right? He started the movie trying to kill Peter for killing his dad, then lost his memory, and became Peter's friend again. He then got reminded by Ghost Willem Dafoe that he was trying to kill Peter, then got told that Peter didn't actually kill his dad, making him immediately be his best friend again. They probably could have cut out the middleman memory loss, but it extended the runtime and that's all that matters. Harry has the Series 16 spy hair, which is perfect because it has little indentations on the side to slot a new masterpiece on. This is removable and shows 2 different faces for the character underneath. One where Peter chucked a freaking grenade at his face. He has a new sword similar to the existing katana, and the Back to the Future hoverboard with printing. Mr. Sandman, Man-Mia Sand, was apparently going to be the only villain besides stupid James Franco, and he was most definitely superior to the 3rd villain who you'll see in a second. Although the retcon of him being Uncle Ben's killer was pretty silly. His figure's pretty simple, just coming with the Peter Venkman hair, which isn't perfect, but it's the best one I could find. And the fist piece from Gilgamesh from the completely uninteresting Eternals. I guess Venom is just completely impossible to adapt to film, because I haven't seen either Tom Hardy movie, but I've heard less than stellar reviews. I'm sure Venom himself wasn't as bad as this chump from Spider-Man 3, who was very obviously shoved in at the last minute. His design is alright though, being a messed up version of the Spider-Man suit, so I use my Spider-Man figure as a template. His accessory is a black power blast, and like Peter he comes with an alternate head and headpiece for Trash Brock. When I had to cut the Raimi trilogy figures down to 8, I had 7 obvious inclusions and 1 free space. Immediately I knew who that would have to be. Mother hecking J.J. Jameson. Remember when we thought it was the craziest thing that they kept J.K. Simmons for the MCU? And now we're getting every single villain actor back, it's overshadowed? We shouldn't take it for granted that they didn't recast JJJ, because he has the only actor from the old movies who is objectively irreplaceable. I'm only sad he hasn't got his own Disney Plus show yet, a mockumentary sitcom called The Bugle. Lego Jameson has Zane from Ninjago's hair with a bit of side printing, and I chose this newspaper from the third movie because I was going through some photos of existing 2x2 tiles, and they look very similar. Moving on to the Amazing Spider-Man characters, we have an Amazing Spider-Man from the Amazing Spider-Man movie The Amazing Spider-Man. This is his suit from the first movie, because there technically is an existing figure of the outfit from the sequel, and this one's a lot more unique anyway. With its gold eyes and light blue line texture, he has the other generic web piece I could find as an accessory, but once again has the head and hair of Peter Parker, looking a lot more like the Fonz than last time. The Mary Jane equivalent from these two movies is Gwen Stacy, who has not garnered the same fan reaction as MJ from what I've seen, which is good. Maybe it's because she has a more compelling story conclusion, by which I mean she has a smile that will surely not last much longer, and the very recently revealed new Miss Marvel hair. Like, a week ago recent. Like, I'm the only person to draw this hairpiece recent. That's proof that I was really drawing all these figures at the last minute to get this video out today. I could not think of an accessory for her for ages, but I eventually found this moment where she tries to find Max Dillon on a high-tech Oscorp computer and gets in trouble for it. The hologram computer uses the same pieces as the accessory that came with the white vision. This lizard figure is pretty terrifying, so we'll try and move on as quickly as possible. I've never talked about a minifigure using this big body piece though, so I'll mention it here. Basically it's an innovated version of the video game Mr. Incredible body piece, but more realistic to what LEGO would actually make in my opinion, because it uses the real Hagrid arms for a bit of part usage. I've used this body piece in the past for Bowser, Heavy, King Dedede, and Me and the Boys Rhino, and I like having this compromise that doesn't use a completely fan-made piece. Anyway, the lizard, right, forgot about him for a minute. New lizard tail and the creature legs, and that's about it. I also remade Dr. Connors from the Raimi series to make up for my egregious dual-handed version from 3 years ago, but he's not part of this series. Electro is one of the only characters from these movies to have a real figure, so I had to do him in a different outfit. I mean, I guess I could have just darkened his main suit, because his figure is pretty inaccurate, but I didn't think that was enough. Luckily he has an earlier outfit of a plain black hoodie. Yay, costume design. I made his face print a bit more accurate with pupils and hints of pink, and his accessories are 2 lightning bolts so he can light his candles. The third Green Goblin in this series is also the second Harry Osborn, and the first Green Goblin to suck this hard. Guess third time's the charm didn't really play out with this character. He definitely took the longest to draw out of every character, due to his super intricate Master Chief / Doomslayer outfit. Then on top of that, I had to draw another glider, while making it different enough from Willem Dafoe's one. Shrinking it down to minifigure scale meant a lot of corners were cut, so it doesn't particularly look like the glider from the movie, aside from the point at the front. I also decided to not give this goblin a pumpkin bomb, since one only shows up for like 5 seconds in the movie. There was no way on God's green earth I could shrink the rhino suit down to be anything less than a Lego set by itself, so unfortunately the version of the character I drew I can't even call by the rhino name. It's Aleksei Sytsevich, obviously. The most stereotypical bald, tattooed criminal in all of Russia. He also has a lawsuit-prone Adidas tracksuit, which is probably way too much of a licensing nightmare for a character with 3 minutes of screen time, but this is all made up. In the world this series is real and Lego owns Adidas or something. Wait, is it Adidas or Adidas? I never know. The Not Rhino's accessories are a gun and a phone with a Daily Bugle article on it. That's actually Gwen's phone in the movie, but I wanted another accessory, and it's an article about Aleksei, so it's thematic enough for me to include. It makes sense that Spider-Man, his girlfriend, and every villain filled up less slots in the Amazing Spider-Man section than in the Raimi trilogy section, since there was one less movie. Even with the abundance of characters in the sequel, there were only 6 obvious inclusions. So with 2 free spaces, I decided to include Aunt May and Uncle Ben. As though these actors are often forgotten, they're probably my favourite ages for the characters. I love the Raimi versions, but their enormous age gap from Peter is pretty unrealistic. Here's Sally Field's Aunt May. She comes with a nurse outfit from the second movie, and I couldn't find a high quality reference picture, so I'll just show this screenshot quickly to show where I got it from. She has Barbara Gordon's hair in dark brown, and she comes with her long desired carton of eggs from the first movie. Then, of course, the final figure is Martin Sheen's Uncle Ben. Okay, maybe he's as unrealistically old as the Raimi version too. Oh well, Aunt May was perfect. The infamously ill-fated uncle is a pretty boring figure, just coming with a grey shirt and black trousers, and the wavy hair in grey. But his accessory is the suitcase full of plot devices that Peter's dad Richard owned, hence the RP. The suitcase is pretty important in both movies, so even though it's not very correlated with Uncle Ben, I wanted to include it here, because remember what he always said, with great suitcases comes great accessories. Phew, I'm finally done. Making this series made me have a pretty busy few weeks, and since I watched all 5 movies and No Way Home over the last month to prepare for this, I've had Spider-Man on the brain for a while, but now I can finally let go and leap away from the character with the exaggerated swagger of a completionist. It's fitting that this series was kind of draining, as I'm taking a break from all of this, from Lego and from this YouTube channel. I kind of want to pursue other things, as I don't want these hundreds of figures I've made to be the only thing in my repertoire. Actually, maybe I won't leave this channel, but I'll start posting other character art than just trace Lego minifigures. I still have ideas for a Lego series I really want to make, but now those series will be interspersed amongst other stuff. Probably not Mies anymore though. It may very well not be the stuff you're into, and I only started it this year, so it's pretty amateur and has aged badly. But I have another Instagram account called AB Art, where I did post little drawings of pop culture characters, and I'm currently attempting something where I draw MCU characters in different art styles. That's the type of stuff I like doing. Not serious art, just PNG cartoons of famous characters, whether Lego or otherwise. So if you enjoyed this shameless self-promotion, you can check this account out if you want to. And if you enjoyed my 20th and final for a while Lego series, cool, nice. Thank you for sticking around to the end, whoever you are, and I'll see you whenever.